Hello everybody and welcome to today's episode of The Score. You're here with Luke and Jinder Jade as we talk through the latest fixtures. We've got a big section today on the Newcastle, which we have a lot to talk about. It's a very heated game. And then we'll be moving on to talk about transfers. The only transfer that we're interested in at the moment will be the signing of Marcelo Bielsa for one more year. And then we'll be going on to discuss some various things about Leeds United. So welcome, Jinder Jade. It's nice to have you again.
Yeah, thank you, Luke. Good to see you guys, and good to see all the subscribers joining us here at the Loco Leeds Football Channel. The Score, second episode, mate?
Yes, that's right. So what I've done at the bottom here is I've labelled it season and episode. The season, it could have gone for season 1, season 2, but I'm thinking the season is the season that the football club are in. So it's 2021 and it is episode 2 of The Score. So welcome everybody. I hope you start to tune in soon. Please remember, no matter where you're watching, if you leave a comment, whether you're watching us on Facebook or on your YouTube, leave a comment and we can add it to the screen here and discuss this whilst we talk. So, it's absolutely great.
Excellent. I love that. I love the season idea. It's brilliant. You know, for us old timers like me, I really need to know what season we're on.
Yeah, that's right. Otherwise, we could start going off on one and talking about 91, 92 when we won the league or something, and start having flashbacks.
I always love that era as well, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do as well. Yeah, it's not just the fact we won the league, the kits, the players, the atmosphere. It's just absolutely brilliant. And of course, you can have fans in the stadium, which is nice.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to talk through today with the latest result. We got Newcastle United. Jinder, how do you think of the performance and what we were sort of going through?
I think it was an important win. I think the boys played really well the first half. And the second half, we dug in deep and really went to a place where only Marcelo Bielsa could take our team. And that was not the attacking flair, but, you know, that resiliency, that kind of passion, working for each other, that teamwork. And that was quite evident in Leeds' approach to the game in the second half. I mean, you know, you need luck as well. And we got the luck and we got the rub of the green, and but it was a very nerve-wracking game. I mean, especially, you know, when they give you 5 minutes injury time, it's always nervous times. Right. Being elite.
And that was in both halves as well, wasn't it? And it looked like at the end of the first half they were going to press as well. So it's nice that we could finish the game 2-1 and get the 3 points and just run back to Ellen Road as fast as we could.
I was worried about the health of our players in the first half. They were getting like chopped down, getting kneed, kicked in the face. I thought I was watching the WWE rather than the football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Rocky IV.
Yeah,
quite good.
But, I mean, the knee on poor old Meslier, I thought, well, dear, we've just got him back. And then suddenly he gets whacked with a...
That happened quite a few times in the game as well, didn't it? You know, a couple of times he was trying to defend shots that were going in and obviously got clattered by I think it was Alioski and one of their strikers, but you know, that's some will say that is his job, but it's still nice to see.
He's learning the game properly, shall we say.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So what did you think about Emelier's return? He hadn't been playing for us for a couple of weeks, suspected COVID, although we know with Bielsa it's private, they say health issues. And so, do you think his performance come back and he was ready to play a game full 90 minutes of Premier League football?
I think it was the right call by Marcelo Bielsa. And he just breathes confidence, doesn't he, into our central defenders and also to certain parts of our fan base as well. But I thought, you know, as he came back from his illness, he'd done really well. He was, in the first half, there wasn't much for him to do, was there?
No, not at all.
You know, we obviously relied on him heavily in the second half, and his reflex save that he'd done in the second half was, I mean, that was easily going to be going in for a goal for Newcastle, and that would have been the equaliser because we were 2-1 ahead.
That's right.
At that time.
And this is exactly what we've come to expect off of Melier. I believe we've come to expect these sort of random chance encounters where he does save it and it comes out.
He even got a hand to the actual goal that Almiron scored. So I thought he could have saved it, but he did get his hand on it. He's a very good shot stopper, Meslier. But I think absolutely great work by Marcelo putting him in, and it worked out well for him. And like I said, I think in my pre-match I said that a win breeds a lot of confidence, and we needed that win yesterday. By hook or by crook, we've got the win, and I think that's going to hold the lads in good stead when it comes to Leicester City, the next game, and Everton as well.
Yes, it is Leicester. Mm-hmm.
So top 6 clubs, and you know what happens when we play top 6 clubs.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, they're both looking on incredible form at the moment as well. You're taking a look at where they are in the league and what they're doing. I believe Everton have taken quite a slight slip at the moment from where they are. Let me have a look at the Premier League table. It's not actually up. So Everton are probably 6th or 7th at the moment. And from where they are, though, it could be an illusion that they're not doing very well anymore because, they had their opportunities at the beginning of the season where it looked like they might even run away with the league a bit. So they're 7th at the moment, but on their form, they've won 4 out of the last 5 games. And this is not to be mistaken, though, because they've only played the last 17 games of the season. So they're 2 or 3 games behind the competition. Okay. If they played all 20 games that some of the other teams in the league have played, we might potentially be looking at playing the second club, even though they're currently sat in 7th.
Yeah.
And we can't really get confused with that. It's easy at the moment where with COVID last season and with the FA Cup and games being postponed because of staff and issues with the players with COVID. You won't think often that the teams are lower down in the league than they are, but it's just not the case.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know what? With this league, the Premier League, any team can beat any team. It's. I mean, Leeds last time out did beat Everton as well. Where Rafinha scored, and Rafinha is he's so good, isn't he? Yesterday he was a totally different on another league, wasn't he? But getting back to what you were saying with Everton, they're I think they're an excellent side. But before we look at Everton, we've got Leicester to worry about. But I think we're getting ahead of ourselves. I still want to gloat about the Newcastle game, because I think there were so many positives that we could talk about the Newcastle game. Stuart Dallas, he was in for Matthias
phenomenal.
Flick.
Yes,
And,
yes. Right.
I tell you, that guy. I'd be so confident with him, even if he was like saying goal. He can play everywhere, and it just is so. The word that I'm looking for is a professional guy, as in his mindset is. He's a very genuine, honest chap, from the way he comes over in his interviews and stuff. And I think because of the humble beginnings that he's had, from the EFL. I think that's really, really important, and it's something what Marcelo Bielsa has instilled in the whole group, in our squad. We've got that humility there, and I think that Stuart Dallas has really benefited with Marcelo's coaching, because with Bielsa at the helm, he's completely changed Stuart Dallas. Stuart Dallas was a decent player, I would say, maybe a 6 out of 10, but now that guy is like a 9 out of 10 at least. So that's quite useful to have, because that's something that we've got from our lead squad. So that's
right, and that shows throughout the whole squad as well. You can get players like Struick, although it's not up to the same standard, obviously not international. Struick can fill in for Phillips. You've got Dallas who can fill in a midfield role. You've got Alioski who can go on the wing, midfield, or as a defender. And this is unheard of in modern football, at least. Definitely, if you're not playing on the school ground, you won't fill in 10 positions in a football team and still expect to play at a Premier League quality against world-class players in the modern climate. It's just unheard of. It really speaks to Bielsa as a manager and what he can do with players that were championship players and potentially without Bielsa's support were still are championship players. It's amazing to see just how far they've come.
They've done really, really well, Luke. And the adaptability, like you're talking about in the squad, they've got interchanging positions. And you can see that on the pitch. I don't want to give away our game plan. And not that I'm professing that I know the game plan at all. I'm not, I'm only a fan like yourselves. And, but what I would say is that the way Marcelo's team play, the way they interchange, you've seen Calvin, for example. He can easily just fit into that centre back position, and from his CDM role, he fills that well, and then he looks like he's been playing centre back all his life. So it's very, very adaptable footballers, which is good to have, and especially with the squad that Leeds have got, because such a small squad, so they need a utility man like Stuart Dallas who can do all these various roles. But it's good that these guys can have that ability, to switch over positions.
Definitely. It's also interesting to see at the beginning of the game, at least, the return of some players we'd seen because Dallas was going into the midfield role. That's because we had someone like Llorente who was back in defence, albeit for about 10 minutes. So a real horrible thing to start thinking about, because he was a player that, of course, cost us millions and millions of pounds. It's one of those signings that we just couldn't have made last season. And to see him come on, he's had a lot of injuries. He's had a lot of issues early on. And he come back for a total of about 10 minutes and was injured. So it's quite a shame, really, isn't it, Jinder?
It is. I mean, I think he's the most unluckiest Leeds player that I've seen in quite some time. Him and Adam Forshaw. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you know what? It's funny. I don't know whether you realised at all, was that Diego Llorente looked quite assured for about five or 6 minutes at least. He really was fitting in well. He looked comfortable on the ball, and then suddenly he just pulls up with that hamstring injury. But we've got to give a shout out to Pascal Struijk, who came in. But because Struijk did play really well yesterday, but I do feel for Llorente, and you could see even I saw like an image of as Llorente was walking off, and I think Bielsa high-fived him or put his hand out, and he could see this. You could see the sadness on Llorente's face, and I just wish him, that he recovers well, because it's his livelihood at the end of the day. But they enjoy playing football. And, I know it's football injuries, part and parcel of the game, but, it's his bread and butter.
Definitely. So before we move on to talk about other aspects of the game against Newcastle, we've got quite a few comments coming in. If you're watching this live, everyone, please remember to leave your comment, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, and that will come up live. We can react to your comments as the live stream's going on. What that means is that we can respond. You can give us your own reply once again, and we can respond to that, and we can have more of a conversation than just replying once in the comments after the video. If it is after the video, please, it's usually an 8 p.m. live start if you really want to get in there. Otherwise, leave your comments, because Jinder's on there constantly answering all your comments. I don't ever see one he's missed out, and it's really good. So we've got Mansur here, who starts off from Facebook. He has said, "Come on, Peacocks."
Excellent.
He's also to say, he's had quite a bit of a discussion, so it'd be nice to talk to you, Mansur. Glory, Leeds United, and an interesting point was a good win against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Not a good performance necessarily, but it was a good win. I think it's quite important. He said, we do need to watch the set pieces. It's interesting to talk about this. I'll stop on this point for a while because we know we concede a lot of set pieces. We know there's issues there where if we're giving away a lot of corners, we're giving away a lot of free kicks. That's where we concede goals. We've conceded some 35 odd goals this season already. It's ridiculous. But in terms of set pieces, again, for the Newcastle game, how many set pieces did we give away that I to set light? It's quite an issue there.
Sorry, Luke, I just lost you there for a second. Can you just repeat
No problem.
that?
Just seeing with the set pieces, how many did we give away against the Newcastle team? It was there was quite a few set pieces there that were either quite light or unnecessary, and it was quite a shame really to see them.
Yeah, the referee didn't help the game yesterday as well. He was quite trigger happy and whistle happy, shall I say? And he didn't let the game flow. And I think with the set pieces, but I think we dealt with them as best as we could. It was the best that I've seen them being dealt with in quite some time. So that there's always a positive spin. But I don't know. I mean, sometimes the set piece is almost like facing a penalty, isn't it? we dread, oh, please don't let it be a corner. Please don't let it be a corner. But they've. I mean, just a quick point about Newcastle and their set pieces. I was watching the game on BT Sport. I mean, that's where it was on yesterday, and they were showing Newcastle doing a bit of training, and they were doing the set piece drills and everything, and none of them were going in. I think Callum Wilson was shooting at his goalkeeper, and the poor old goalkeeper didn't even have a chance to make any saves because he was either hitting them over or he was either blasting them wide. So and then there was. So I could feel that that's a good sign. If their set pieces are the way they're shooting, we're going to have a good day today, and we're paying luckily for this.
I think that's an extremely accurate thing to be saying because there were some set pieces. The corners, I believe, as they were coming in, were absolutely perfect. It was just luck of who got it on the end of the ball. But when they were taking some free kicks, it was way over the post. You're talking over the stadium, and it's a bloody big stadium. Or you're thinking it could go into the stands, and it was quite nice to not have that sort of impact where you're thinking, okay, is it going in? Is it not going in? We've also got somebody from your YouTube channel, Jinder, from Military Gooner TV.
Yeah, all the way from Jamaica, this lad, Military Gooner TV, brilliant. And he's an Arsenal fan, but we've got mutual respect for each other's channels and for each other's teams as well. So,
I think at the moment that's critically important because we're fighting for each other's places in the league, aren't we now?
They've shot up a little bit though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Mantle's carried on to say obviously good win against Newcastle. Just watch the set pieces. He wants Bamford to score more goals. This is an interesting point because Bamford did not look incredibly sharp against Newcastle. I don't think he had chances, but it was not. The chances weren't converted as much as he would usually hope. So it was quite a shame, really. And obviously, I think that transferred into him being taken off and replaced by Roberts, and that was quite early on. Yeah,
quite a good run out for Tyler Roberts, actually. He done really well when he came on. I think it was the right sort of change. I hate it when Bamford does come off because we tend to lose our shape and direction, and the system sort of goes every time Patrick's come off. And it even happened last season as well, So he's very, very important to our system. But I think yesterday, elbows in the faces didn't really help him. They were quite strong with Patrick Bamford, weren't they? They were quite heavy-handed, the Newcastle players. But but Patrick didn't have one of his best games. But he still worked hard. He was running around. He was chasing everything. So you can't
exactly. It was trying. It was just unfortunate.
Yeah, he was trying. You can't fault the effort. And he's just going through a bit of a lean spell, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe. With hindsight, you might not know, but without hindsight, sorry, you might not know, but if we'd left Bamford on, would he have converted a couple of chances closer to the end of the game? Then when the other teams start to slow down because the pace isn't up to scratch, Bamford then might be able to fill in, get a chance, run behind a player, and actually convert a goal, which we know from hindsight that Roberts did not do.
I mean, that's I was just about to say that chance that Tyler Roberts had, if it was Bamford, I think he would have made the keeper work a little bit better than Tyler Roberts did. So I think you make an excellent point there, Luke. I think Paddy Bamford should have just stayed on. But look, hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? When we look back,
that's right.
I'm just glad the game is over and we've got the 3 points, taking us to 26 points, my friend. 26 points after beautiful. 19 games played, the 20th on Sunday. That's it's okay, and we've done the double as well. So
yes, the first double of the season.
There you go. So
lovely.
And it's the first time we've actually played like the reverse fixtures as well. So that's the first game of the returning loop. So fair play to the boys. A double is a double. Just without the club.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant to see the team start to develop as a Premier League club. There was worry when we were coming up, would we be able to compete against these players? And despite where Newcastle are now and the struggles that they are facing, they are a world-class club that if they were in any other league in the first league of France, Germany, Spain, etc., they would be flying just like Leeds would. So the competition's there in the Premier League and in the whole entire EFL. So to see us come up and to make this impact on teams like Newcastle, but it isn't all about the pretty performances that we could get over teams in the Championship. We're in the Premier League. This is the big time. We're playing against clubs that just will not let up, and we're managing to get results like this. I believe. In fact, it's not just the result as well. For once, we didn't let the fact that Newcastle equalised get to us, because the response was almost imminent from the club. We pushed them, and Harrison with that second goal, I just think absolutely phenomenal. I had a voice message on the Leeds Plus WhatsApp group, some lad from Yorkshire who was saying about how he didn't realise that we'd scored because Harrison had taken it so casually onto his right foot and on his left foot even, and curled it into the back post, and he just walked off. And even I was sat there because I giggled. I was thinking, was that a goal? Was it offside? Why is no one celebrating? Is this just how we play football now?
Yeah. It was, you've made a couple of excellent points, and let me talk to you about Jack Harrison because that's fresh in my head just now. It's like he's collecting goals for like he's going to submit them at the end of the season, like goal of the season, Exhibit A, the one I scored against Liverpool. Exhibit B, the one I scored against Newcastle at Elland Road. He's got two against Newcastle now. And this one was a really good outside of the boot finish. Leathers it in, top corner. And I was like you, completely stunned with the non-celebration. And I just thought, did it go in or what's gone on? Or has it broken the net or something? Because nothing's gone off. So it was a really good finish by Harrison. And coming back to your point at the start of what you were talking to me about was the heads didn't drop. The lads instant reply, 4 minutes I think, and Harrison scored. Great pass by Rafinha. I think that guy was our key man. And Newcastle, I just want to say that I've got a tremendous respect for Newcastle, and that goes to from our days in the 90s. In the mid-90s, they had Gary Speed from Leeds United, so we've got a link there. David Batty also played for Newcastle as well as us. So, those two players, very, very close to me growing up as a lad. And, I've always had a lot of respect for Newcastle and with Keegan and everything. when he was going up against Man United. So I do feel for him that they're in this kind of situation, because a massive club like that shouldn't be in the predicament. But sometimes it's not always the manager's fault. But on this particular occasion, it looks like there's a lot of issues behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and
fundamental issues with
and,
the manager.
and with the fan base not liking the manager as well. I mean, we had it with Ken Bates and Massimo Cellino.
Of course,
it was
that friction comes off. Definitely comes off onto the performance on the pitch.
It's the circle of life in football, isn't it? You have your ups and downs, and then eventually, I just hope it works out well for Newcastle, because I don't really want them to go down, because they're a fantastic big club with a big fan base, and they're nice fans as well. They're no real malice with
very committed. They're like Leeds United fans.
Yeah, out of one club city, Newcastle United. I mean, Sunderland is another close rival of theirs, but that's Let's get back to Leeds. We're getting aimed at being Geordie fans otherwise.
Definitely. So I think this comes in closely to our next section, Jinder. Apologies, cut you off. So our latest form. So we're looking now at 3 wins in 5 losses are there. It's pretty typical, because we're not drawing any games. We're either winning 5-0 or losing 5-0. It's a great performances for a neutral, but again, it's troubling for a Leeds United fan. You don't know which way the coin's going to flip. It's
all it's Marcelo's philosophy, really, that we either win or we lose. He's like that, isn't he? It's 3 points or nothing. He's not interested in the 1 point. I don't think he believes in that at all.
No.
So he doesn't go out, and that's a great mindset to have. He doesn't want the 1 point. He wants 3 points, and he'd be great on it. He'd be great on a roulette wheel or something like that, wouldn't he? He'd just gamble all the way through. Bit big.
Well, it played off last season, didn't it?
Yeah, of course. But you know what? We're so lucky just to have Marcelo at the helm, and to play this kind of football that we're doing. It's so brilliant. And I don't want the draw is not worth getting anyways nowadays. So I like his philosophy. Get the win.
Definitely. It's a lovely point. I think that leads us into our next section here, which is the transfers. It has been openly said now by Phil Hay, he was former Leeds United man at the Athletic, and he's now moved on from that. He's performing a different role, but he still works on exclusively Leeds United news. He's there at every single boardroom, every single interview. And he's the guy, the media man. He said that we will not be signing anybody for this transfer period. Now, is there any thoughts that you have on that, Jinder? If you believe that this is okay, are you worried?
Well, the January transfer window. I think last week we were talking about it as well. I think you don't get the best in the January transfer window unless you get. Remember, there was that player who used to play for Stoke, Peter Wingy. He was always touted for the January transfer window. In the summer, you could never hear of him. So I think the summer is where the best transfers take place.
Of course,
the ones that make the team better, and I think the player gels better in the summer because they have pre-season or whatnot. In the January transfer window, you're just panicking, and what you realise with Marcelo Bielsa is he doesn't conform to anything. If you say get this player, he'll just say, no, forget that. I'll just turn Pascal Strike into the tournament
into an international. Yeah,
that's
right. We've got a few more comments here from everybody. Sorry, Gina, cut you off there.
No.
So, just a reminder to everyone who is watching live, there's quite a few of you, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, whether that's the Our Local Leeds football page, Leeds Plus page, or on the Our Local Leeds YouTube channel. If you leave a comment wherever you're watching this, we will see this comment and we can have a chat with you whilst the stream's going on. So Manager here says, our goalkeeper played well considering they're coming back from an illness. Brilliant young lad. I think that follows on from a point we said earlier. It's really nice to see that he's come off of a 2-week injury. I don't know whether he's done a lot of training or at home on his own, and he's managed to come back and pull off a performance, like you say, with some really killer saves like he did.
Yeah. Fair play to him, Mesley, and that just shows the image of professionalism he's got in his game at such a young age.
Definitely. And then follow on to say, heart attack football, he calls it. He said, I love it, lads. It was definitely the case in the second half. I could feel my heart going. I sat watching it with my father, and he was constantly going, I just want it to end. How long have we got to wait until the game's over? Really was quite tense. Yeah.
It is. It's always nerve-wracking, but that's what we signed up for.
Especially so. This is what we wanted, Jinder, Premier League football. It's not easy anymore.
That's it. It's better than playing Rotherham, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And as soon as the game had finished, I messaged my other half and I said, I'm really glad the football's over, which you probably thought you'd never hear in a million years. I was just really glad. It's done. I can breathe. Nearly had a bit of a breakdown there. We've had another message come in from Sunil, who's just said, hey. He's on the our Loco Leeds channel. So it's lovely to see you. It's lovely to get some comments off you live. It's great to do one of these live streams and just really interact with you and see what's going on.
If I just say to Sunil, he's from Nepal, so we've got some international.
Yes.
So.
Sunil, namaste. Lovely to see you, sir.
Well, great work there, Luke. Excellent.
And back to Manjit. Sorry, Sunil. If you want to say anything else, go ahead. He wants to see us get some loan players, but the fitness level is so high. I think that's evident that we have an injury, and we do still have an incredibly small squad. One of our issues the season before last, our promotion season, when we had the injuries, we didn't understand quite how to fulfill those roles as well as we do now. You've always got players that are 5 or 10 different pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. You can fit them in where they want, and they fit absolutely perfectly. So it's lovely to see. Maybe a lone player, I believe, could be right. But the point you made, Jinder, is absolutely phenomenal about the January transfer window is not as important. If you see a club like, God forbid, but maybe it's necessary, Newcastle get relegated, we can start nicking off players off of them, even players I've recently bought, Dwight Gale and St. Maximin and stuff. These are players that we could steal and really reinforce the side we've already got at the moment, and we could buy them on the cheap. This is definitely not something we could do if they're a Premier League club in January. So,
yeah, I agree with you there totally, Luke. And that St. Maximin, he changed things when he came on yesterday, but ideally, I would like Brighton to go down, and then we can maybe pinch a certain Ben White. So,
yes.
Wouldn't it be funny though, if they get relegated and they still don't sell us Ben White?
Guarantee they'll still put on that price tag of 35 million, and we'll be the idiots who pay it. But anyway, we'll move on from talk about Ben White. I'm sure nobody's happy to hear that name until he's signed or he's not signed. So the transfers, we know that we're not going to sign anyone and we're not going to loan anyone this transfer window likely. Followed that on to sign Bielsa. This is our number one transfer. This is something we need by the end of the season. The man we know, unfortunately, lives off of 1 season deals, 1 year deals. So he's every year since 2017 when he's managed the club, it's only been 1 year with an option to extend it. So it's given us Leeds United fans a bit of familiarity that we're going to have a heart attack when the season ends every single year because we don't know whether our God's staying. But I've heard insider reports through Leeds Plus. We've heard that we're looking to sign Bielsa for 1 more year. He's getting on now. I think he's over 70 already, 72, 73. He's an old man.
He's not that old. He's only 66.
Is he not? 66, okay. So he's well, he's still getting on, but okay, good. He's got a few more years left in, and that's lovely to see.
Roy Hodgson is 72. I think he's the eldest. Neil Warnock is about 71, maybe. So I would say that would be the great thing is to get Marcelo signed up for another year, and I think he will sign for another year. And another thing is, just to put a bit of a comical spin on it, if we keep Jack Harrison for another year, then Marcelo will stay, because I think Jack Harrison has sort of come in the deal with Marcelo, because he keeps them fighting for 1 year. He's played 3 years with us, Jack Harrison, and Bielsa stayed with us for 3 years as well. So, but I don't know. I mean, like I said, it's I think with Leeds, with Bielsa. I've seen so many documentaries of him, and some I've seen in they're in Spanish, and they've been, I'm just following the subtitles. The way he goes about his teams, and the way, if he falls in love with the club, the fans, doesn't have to be with the football or anything, he's going to go straight away into it. That's the kind of person he is. As soon as he falls out of love with something, that's when he tends to leave. But Leeds United sort of fit Marcelo Bielsa. It's like a really good match, I just think that this chap has come at the right time, and he has changed our fortunes, which he's done. But this is what we were missing with the likes of, Paul Heckingbottom, and we had Thomas Christensen. They weren't the right molds for Leeds. Gary Monk again. But this one, he's an elite manager.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. It's very crucial for him to get signed. And with that, we're going to sign off, Jinder. Been lovely to have a talk with you. It's a tiny bit abrupt today, but there's been a lack of under 23s. I know there's a lack of transfers, but fortunately we've had the pleasure of talking on the show about the Newcastle result, which was a lovely 2-1 and 3 points for Leeds United. So, Jinder Jade, thank you very much. This has been The Score, everybody. If there's any final comments that you might want to add quickly, please do just comment them onto the comment section of YouTube or Facebook. And please, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, remember to like and subscribe. Jinder puts out a lot of videos on the YouTube page. I've got a lot of posts that I'm putting up on the Facebook page, and together we're running The Score. So it's lovely to see this here. So Manjit, just wanted to close off with saying that Marcelo Bielsa is a top manager. It's great to see him fall in love with Leeds United. We were really blessed when he came along, and we've not been looking back ever since. So it's absolutely lovely.
Yeah. Okay, Luke, thank you for having me. All the best, guys. And guys, make sure you drop us a like, share the video, and just keep on doing your thing. All the best, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.